Very interesting topic, mortgage. A mortgage is defined under Section 58 of Transfer of Property Act as the transfer of an interest in a specific immovable property for securing payment of a loan, existing or future debt, or performance of an obligation. Types of mortgages and their differences. We'll see here section 58A, 58B, 58C, 58D. Types of mortgages we can see. Simple mortgage, section 58B. Mortgage by conditional sale, 58C. Usufructory mortgage, 58D. English mortgage, 58E. And 58F, mortgage by deposit of title deeds. We also call it as equitable mortgage. This is 58F. 58G, anomalous mortgage. So these are the types of mortgages. So we'll see the difference. Simple mortgage. So in simple mortgage, the possession remain with mortgager. In mortgage by conditional sale, possession remains with mortgager. Usufructory mortgage, possession given to mortgagee. English mortgage, usually with mortgager. In mortgage by deposit of title deeds, also equitable mortgage, possession remains with the mortgager. In anomalous mortgage, possession, it depends on terms. And coming to registration at Sub-Registrar office, simple mortgage, registration mandatory. Mortgage by conditional sale, yes, registration mandatory. Usufructory mortgage, registration is mandatory. English mortgage, registration is mandatory. Mortgage by deposit of title deeds, equitable mortgage, registration generally no, not required. Anomalous mortgage depends on structure, registration is required. And coming to the personal liability, in simple mortgage, yes. Mortgage by conditional sale, no. Usufructory mortgage, no. English mortgage, no. Mortgage by deposit of title deeds, yes. Anomalous mortgage depends on the terms. And the key features, if you see the difference, in simple mortgage, right to sell property through the court. Whereas in mortgage by conditional sale, sale becomes absolute on the default. That is why we call it as mortgage by conditional sale. In usufructory mortgage, mortgage enjoys, this mortgagee enjoys rents and profits. In English mortgage, absolute transfer subject to retransfer. I'll explain one by one. I'm just explaining the comparison now. And even mortgage by deposit of title deeds, also called it as a equitable mortgage. It created by depositing title deeds. Anomalous mortgage, this is a combination of other mortgage types. Now I will discuss one by one. In a simple mortgage, the features are mortgagor does not deliver possession. Mortgagor personally undertakes to repay the debt. Mortgagee gets the right to cause the property to be sold through court if default occurs. Ownership remains with mortgagor. I'll give an example. A company borrows 5 crore from bank and executes a registered mortgage deed over its factory land. The company retains possession and operations. Advantages with the simple mortgage: borrower retain possession, commonly used in bank financing. There are certain disadvantages. Enforcement generally requires court intervention. This is what in detail about simple mortgage. What about mortgage by conditional sale? Property is ostensibly sold. Sale becomes absolute if debt is not repaid. Sale becomes void if debt is repaid. So, no personal covenant to repay again. I'll give an example. A landowner transfer property through a deed stating that if 50 lakh is not repaid within 3 years, the sale becomes absolute. The difference from sale: courts examine the substance of the transaction. If the intention is a security for the debt, it is a mortgage and not an outright sale. This is the difference from sale. Now I will explain usufructory mortgage. Possession is delivered to the mortgagee. Mortgagee receives rents, profits, crops, lease income, etc. Income is appropriated towards interest or principal. No personal liability on mortgagor. I'll give an example. For every type, I'm giving an example because these are all technical terms. A farmer mortgages agricultural land and gives possession to the lender, who enjoys the crop income until the loan is adjusted. Common use: agricultural and rural property transactions. We can see this. Now we'll go to English mortgage. Mortgagor binds himself personally to repay. Property is transferred absolutely to mortgagee. Mortgagee agrees to retransfer upon repayment. I'll give an example. Large project finance transactions may use English mortgages where extensive lender rights are required. Advantages: strong security for lender, faster enforcement mechanism in certain circumstances. Another model: mortgage by deposit of title deeds, also called as equitable mortgage. The features are created merely by depositing title deeds with the lender. No formal mortgage deed is required in many cases. Borrower remains in possession. Widely used by the banks and financial institutions. They use this type of mortgage, equitable mortgage. I'll give an example. A company deposits original title deeds of its office building with the bank as a security for working capital facility. Registration position: if you see, historically registration was not required if security was created solely by deposit of title deeds. However, state stamp laws and specific documentation may trigger registration requirements. If you see corporate law aspects, where a company creates an equitable mortgage, the charge must generally be registered with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs under Section 77 of Companies Act 2013. Another type: anomalous mortgage. The features are: any mortgage that does not fit neatly into the previous categories, may combine characteristics of simple, usufructory, and conditional mortgages. I'll give an example. A mortgage where possession is delivered to the lender and the lender also has the right to sell without court intervention upon default. This is common usage, customized commercial financing structure. So the practical comparison is Possession with borrower in simple mortgage, and personal convenient to repay, yes, in simple mortgage. If you see only possession with borrower, simple mortgage, it will be there. Conditional sale, yes, it will be there. Usufructory, no. English mortgage, usually yes. Equitable mortgage, yes, possession is with borrower. Second point, personal covenant to repay. Simple mortgage, yes, personal covenant is required. Conditional sale, not required. Usufructory, not required. English mortgage, yes, it is required. Equitable mortgage, yes, personal covenant to repay is required. Now we will see the registration requirement. Simple mortgage, yes. Conditional sale, yes. Usufructory, yes. English mortgage, yes. Only in equitable mortgage, usually no registration required. Right to enjoy income, simple mortgage, no. Conditional mortgage, no. Usufructory, no. English mortgage, no. And equitable mortgage, no. Where right to enjoy is there, usufructory mortgage, right to enjoy income will be there. Only in usufructory mortgage it will be there. And popular with the banks, generally simple mortgage is a popular with the banks and equitable mortgage also. Other are rare, limited. Court sale is required. Simple mortgage it is required. Only conditional sale it is not required. Even usufructory mortgage, generally no sale right. English mortgage depends, and equitable mortgage also depends. So mortgage is commonly used in corporate finance. For companies, banks generally prefer equitable mortgage. Mortgage by deposit of title deeds, most common for land and buildings. Simple mortgage where additional legal protection is required. In English mortgage, in large project finance and consortium lending. Exclusive charge, that is pari passu charge over immovable property under Companies Act 2013. These are generally companies, banks generally prefer. So whenever a company creates a mortgage over immovable property, board resolution is required, loan documents must be extended. CHG1 is generally required under Section 77 of Companies Act 2013 within 30 days. Modification or satisfaction of a charge must also be filed with the MCA. These are 6 legally recognized categories of mortgage under Section 58 of Companies Act 2013. We have 2 channels, RR Corporate, other channel RR Legal Talks. Please do subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you will not miss my latest videos. Thank you.